Hi everyone, thanks for joining in. Just gone live. Sorry about that. Just getting brought a cup of tea. Thank you. That's training for you. I just want to say hi to everyone. Welcome a few people in. I've already seen some of the comments. All right, Nelly, mate, and Matt, Robbie as well. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, I just thought I'll for today's live, might as well go with my series that I'm putting out there, basically a day in the life of window cleaner every day for this month, called Survival Month, because I'm in survival mode basically. And some of the comments I've got, sounds like a lot of you have been in the same boat, because it's been a bad couple of months really because of the weather and I suppose Christmas. So you all right, Nelly, mate? Thanks for joining us in. And you as well, Matt. Sorry to hear about your van. And like you say, good topic for what I'm talking about. There's an example of it there, isn't it? And you're saying you've got an expensive week because you've had to spend some money sorting out your van with all the equipment and that. All right, Robbie, mate, thanks for joining in. And Nelly, you're saying you've been cleaning gutters all day at a school. Can't move, your shoulders are killing me. Yeah, who needs to go to a gym in our job sometimes, eh, mate? Wow. And that's a Sunday. So I suppose you're trying to get it all done so it doesn't mess up your normal working week. And it's like a bonus money, isn't it? We don't like working weekends, but you've got to do what you've got to do to make ends meet, or to get over hurdles and problems that come your way, isn't it? Just do what you need to do to keep going. But when it's good, isn't it? Sorry to hear that, mate. Damn. I take it being school, there's a lot of gutters. So there must be a lot of them as well. And I expect a lot of them are in hard to reach areas as well. Hi, window washer. You all right, mate? Hope you're doing all right. So, Nelly, is it loads of gutters that you're cleaning then at the school? And I expect some are tucked in hard to reach areas, or some of them aren't they on bits where it's hard to access, or the roof is not so good. So you just got to use your gutter vac poles at funny angles and that to get in there, because we like to get the job done at the end of the day. Hi, Mills Cleaning. Sorry, I've seen your comment a little while ago. I haven't replied to it yet on one of my videos, mate. Reference, like you're saying about skippers, and if they're, say, people who skip every other clean, so they're going from 4 weekly, push them to 8 weekly and up the price as well. Cheers, mate. Yeah. Just in case some of you aren't members of it, join the Window Cleaners Hub. And basically, it's just a community thing there. Matt and a couple other people have sorted that out and put some of us down as moderators. It's just something where we can all ask for each other for advice, but trying to keep it a tight-knit sort of like community. Yeah, I like the idea, mate. Give them two prices, like you say, 4 weekly and 8 weekly. It's something I haven't done. Everything's just the same, so it's a bit of a mess. It's just something I did when I first started, but I wish I had done 4 and 8 weekly prices. That's for sure. But yeah, this month for me has been off to a good start. I know, Matt, it hasn't been for you trying to sort your van out and that, but hopefully, though, once you've got your van sorted, you feel much better and you work better as well, don't you, when you're happy with your kit, even if it's just a little thing, let alone a big thing that you've got sorted out. So you'll kind of recoup it later. But it's done, you know what I mean? And yeah, for me so far, this month's been going okay. I'm not overly worried at where I am. It's kind of like where it normally should be. I just hope it continues for the next few weeks to the rest of the month, and I should be okay. But I know it's not good to count your eggs too early, because there are things that will always go wrong and catch you unawares. Or no, me, we get a storm as I'm doing all right, and that storm will last for a few days, and then I won't be doing all right. So we'll just see how it goes. But as long as everything goes as it is, I'm sure I'll get through this month fine and actually end up in profit as well. And that's mainly due to Sophie getting herself a job. And so that's a less wage I've got to pay out for now. I'm going to use that money to try and get the scales back to normal, pay off a few other things before I start then looking at up and say Matthew's money and that. But I want to make the business better off, because at the end of the day, if you haven't got a business, no one's got a job, have they? Sorry, Matt's just said, all sorted now. Batteries are charging properly. Oh, nice one. and now working on a reduced flow rate, so should save. Okay, a little water, yeah, because I think because it's a bigger leisure battery you've got, you're saying you can lower the rate of your pump, but you're still getting the same effect as you had done before, basically. So that's another good indicator, then, isn't it, that the proper leisure battery size fitted to your kit makes a big difference. And I'm not going to name the company because that's sort of your thing to do, I suppose. But yeah, they've got something wrong there, isn't it? Considering people who install these things should know better, really, in our eyes. So it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it, whether it's worth doing a DIY system or getting an install. Now, I did mine for X-Line. I'm happy enough. But what I liked about the install is you drive it down, drop it off, pick it up 24 hours later, and you're good to go. Or mine was done over 2 days because they did a few other things. Whereas if I did it DIY, it'd probably take me 6 months and then about another 6 months to put everything right that I've got wrong, because I'm not really good at that sort of thing. But if it's something you're good at, doing a DIY system could be worthwhile, couldn't it? Nellie's saying batteries hate cold temperatures as well. Yeah, I'm been lucky. I had to change my leisure battery in my van. It's a few months ago now, but bearing in mind that battery was 7 years old, and I've used it day in, day out quite a lot, except for obviously the first maybe couple of years while you're building up your round. So it's lasted me a long time, really. And then I had to replace it because what I was noticing was it was running out of charge towards the end of the day. Not every day, but definitely on busy days, and sometimes reeling in. That's when I realised it's draining quickly. So it just needed replacing, basically. And when I've done it, it's absolutely fine. So I've been lucky there, really, with mine. The window washer is saying, what battery chargers are people using? I charge a more powerful one. I need a more powerful one. For me personally, I've got a split relay set up. So it's charging, when my van's charging my main battery, it'll also charge me leisure battery for me in the van. So I don't need to take the battery out or connect up to a battery charger in the evenings. And that's how it works for me. I'm not sure what other people, if they do the same thing. Or I know some people will take a battery out and they put it on charge overnight with a trickle charge or something. So if anyone's got any info there for the window washer. Jordan's saying, hi mate, hope you're well. I'm a new exterior cleaner. I've got 67 customers. Have you got any advice? Also ex-military. Parachute regiment. Nice one, mate. Big respect for you. I'm dirty RAF regiment, 5 miler of death, all that sort of thing. I know I'm going to get it. Yeah, if anyone's got any advice as well for Jordan, 67 customers. Wow, mate, have you got them in a short time then? Because if you've got them in a short time, you're doing really well. It's just go for it, innit, really? And all the stuff you've done previous, transfer skills and all that kind of stuff they tell you on your resettlement, it will all come into play. And I'd mention your ex-forces as well. People are like that. And there's a lot of people support the forces, got family are in there, or they're ex-something themselves as well. And they'll stand by you. So, yeah, if anyone's got any advice for Jordan, because I just do window cleaning and gutter clears, really, Jordan. I don't do jet washing or roof cleaning, that sort of thing. But I'd use this time probably to try and do a bit of everything and find what you really like, and then maybe go for that one sort of niche. I know I had a mate, he did, when he started getting into this, he did window cleaning and gardening. Then he got that busy, he got rid of the gardening bit, but he wanted to do pressure washing, and he tried them and he liked it that much. So he's gone all in on pressure washing, and now he's gone big time on the roof cleanings, doing really well. But he does keep a small element of window cleaning just to keep a bit of money coming over in the month. But you've got to get that balance, I suppose, because everything takes up your time at the end of the day. But I'd play around and find out what you really enjoy most, and then get down on that one and go for it. Nellie's saying you can't fault the X-Line systems. No, I really like mine and all the gear I've got from them as well. Matt's just saying the window washer, mine is charging on a split charger. Okay, but they'd fitted the wrong one. Again, these companies that do these installations, you would have thought known better, and someone like us drive away not knowing. You find these things out later. and you're a bit annoyed because you spent a lot of money, if you get what I mean, and then you're charging not a lot of money, say, to clean a window, but you're going through a lot of effort to make sure you do a good job, because we're all conscious it's your standard of work is going to basically get you a lot of recommendations. Word of mouth is the best way, I've found. Nellie's just saying having a Sterling split charge relay, but also bench charge on a weekend. Right, okay. I wonder if there's something going on wrong there. It might be similar to what Matt's had, where it's the wrong size battery, or the split charge has not been fitted properly, so it's not doing its job. Oh, Matt's just saying that's what he's had fitted. Right, okay, that's good news then. Mills is saying he uses a caravan plug. Okay, to have a plug in for the immersion heater. I've got all lithium batteries as they're light and run 100%. So live PO4 battery charges. Oh, here, Jordan, Matt's just saying window cleaning as good as it gets for regular income, because you're going to be doing it every 4 or 8 weeks, and that'll happen regularly, except you get a few skips here and there, mate. Nellie's just saying we have hot water and electric reels. Ah, okay, so it's draining the batteries because you've got a lot of powering off it. Will you need then 2 leisure batteries in the van? Because I know when I was looking at some of the X-Line stuff, because I've got 2 electric reels and obviously 2 pumps, 2 flow controllers, they're all running off 1 leisure battery. I think if I was to, say, get a hot water system, they would then fit in another leisure battery to power that, because I can't have it all off the 1 battery. So you might need another leisure battery, for example. The window washer's saying, thanks for the comments about charges. I'm not sure if I drive enough for a split charger to be effective. Yeah, because I think that's a problem, isn't it? When you get your rounds as compact as you can, you're doing very short drives between houses all day, so you're not getting enough charged basically to do it unless you have a good run. That's why probably I'm lucky and having a couple of days a month where I actually do a lot of driving, so it's giving my van a good run out, and it's going to give everything a good chance, I suppose, to charge up and everything. So it's like a different language to me. No probs. Thanks everyone for responding there. And again, Jordan, mate, if any questions, just ask away. We're all going to be mainly window cleaners. But if you're like exterior, I guess you're doing a bit of everything. Have you watched Sid Partridge's channel? That's a good one to watch. There's quite a few other, like Smout, I suppose. That's a good one to watch as well. Just watch as much as you can. YouTube's going to be your best friend. It's going to drive your missus away mad. Matt's saying his system had 2 pumps, 2 electric, and they fitted 75 AH battery. Is it 110 you got now? I'm sure mine's something like 110. I can't remember. 3 batteries. So you should have enough. I'm just going to... I got myself a Strongbow dark fruit cider, but I better drink this brew first before it gets too cold. Oh, Matt's saying, yeah, it's 110. Yeah, so I'm sure that's what I've got. But yeah, this, God, December, January have put me into survival mode. This month so far is going all right. Most of the people have paid me as I've gone along. There is some outstanding, but it's not more than what it normally is. I'll send out payment reminders twice a week as I go anyway, so some of them will catch up in. Tomorrow I'm catching up on some of the work where people have rescheduled, so I haven't lost the work. And that's the other thing I was going to say as well was, for me anyway, because I'm quite busy with customers I've got. I suppose that's a good thing when you've got a lot of customers. Okay, Jordan, same for you, mate, is you'll get setbacks. The weather will stop us working, but you'll have the work there to do. It's just horrible when the bank balance is not very good. You've just got to somehow survive and hang in. But at least you know the work is there when everything turns good, or your problems with your vans or whatever are fixed. The work is booked in. So it must be a lot harder for those that starting up and you haven't got all that work booked in, you know what I mean? But then you go out looking for it, don't you? Jordan's just saying to Matt, thanks, watch your videos. Oh, nice one, yeah. Well done, mate. Exterior cleaning, mainly window cleans and gutter cleans, but most people always ask 8 weekly, which I find hard to make a solid income from. I know, Jordan, mate, from people who have reached out to me and then they've offered me the advice or coffee, that sort of thing. And they've said they're mainly 6 weeks or 12 weekly cleans, some of them. And I think the reason is because you can bump the prices up more than if it's, say, 4 and 8 weekly. So it enables you to charge that little bit more. So the customer's happy to pay that money because they can see the sense you're saying it's every 6 weeks or every 12 weeks, for example. The gap is slightly more than every 4 weeks. But over the year, they're going to save X amount of money. So that kind of sells it to them, if that makes sense. But it allows you to bump the price of the house clean up. And then also, as you get more customers, it's going to allow more spaces. So you're going to end up, when you fill up, say, every 6 weeks, a cycle of customers of hopefully good prices. But I'm like every 4 weeks and every 8 weeks. But I think that's why some people may do that. And I know I haven't done it, but I should do. You charge a set price for 4 weekly, and then, like Mills Cleaning was saying, charge 20% more, for example, if they're going to be every 8 weeks. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But you've got 67 customers, remember? So when they start filling up, even if everyone you had on 8 weeks, so it's 20% more than the 4 weekly clean, for example, when you got everyone on 8 weeks, but they're happy to pay that because you pointed out over the year, yeah, it's 20% more, but you're actually going to save a lot of money, and then they'll be happy for that. And then you'll be able to fill up the customers and you'll have all 8 weeklies, good prices. So you just need more customers, I think, mate. But it will come. And before you know it, you'll have too many. It won't, you know what I mean? It'll take a couple of years, but a couple of years will fly by. And then, yeah, you'll be pulling your hair out because you've got too much. And just word of mouth and chase everything, mate, because you'll go to clean someone. And the next thing you know, they've got a cousin and they've got an auntie, and you'll do loads of families. So I'm just trying to see where some of the comments are. Matt's just saying, yeah, when it gets to spring, work will pick up. Then you'll have more when it comes next winter. All takes time. Like I say, 1 to 2 years. I reckon after 2 years, you'll get somewhere. And by 3 years, you'll be pretty much pulling your hair out because there's no room to put anyone. It will come. And don't spend too much on advertising. It's all word of mouth's the best. And you could probably push this month for gutters, because what I find is in springtime I'm just as busy on the gutters as I am, say, in autumn, or when I tell people the leaves have stopped falling, give me a shout. Sometimes it's too close to Christmas, so then they put it off. And then when they see stuff growing and it's growing like mad out of the gutters, you tend to find you're just as busy in spring as what you are in the autumn. So keep advertising it. And if you're seen out working, that's advertising as well, isn't it? It's going to catch people's eyes and people will come across. You'll get walk-ups. And Nellie's saying, you've got 100% go cardless. I'm jealous. Lost a few at first. Okay, but it's much easier to manage. Yeah, I'd love to have everyone on go cardless, but I know a lot of people don't because they don't like even internet banking. So I've got an array, but I know go cardless is so easy, especially I use Xero as my bookkeeping. And then when I was trying to explain to my accountant that I have to put the invoices to a different price because go cardless take their fees out, he was like, nah, that doesn't bother me. I can see what's going in and out. So basically, if I had everyone doing go cardless, that's what I said to my wife, I wouldn't be sitting down at night looking into who's paid me through the bank, through all the other different payment options I offer. And with go cardless, it's just dead easy. I wouldn't be just sat there every night saying who's paid, who's not, because it marks it all up automatically anyway. And there's less work for me to do bookkeeping wise as well. It'd make my life so much better. It's worth paying them fees for go cardless. So I'm really jealous. If I moved somewhere, I would go cardless only. All I can do now, my new customers, is push that route, saying go cardless. And if they refuse to, it doesn't matter because I've got X amount of work. You know what I mean? But when you're starting out, it is hard, isn't it? Because you want every single customer. So Jordan, if you're watching, mate, looking to go cardless. Yeah, Matt's just saying he'd do 6 and 12 weeks and go cardless as well. Although you've got most of your customers on go cardless as well, haven't you, Matt? Again, jealous. Wish I could. I've got a few on there. It definitely makes life a lot easier, and your admin is well easy as well because you spend plenty of time in the evenings, more than what you realise or would admit, still working. Excuse me. And yeah, I'd maybe offer 6 and 12 because I think 6 weeks is a good sweet spot. And like you say, if you say how much money they'll be saving compared to 4 weeklies, and I'd probably do 6 weeks only because I tell people with the weather, I'll probably come round in the end anyway, 8 weeks. Because some of my 8 weekly customers sometimes end up being 10 weeks or more when we've had the bad weather, which is a bit of a bummer. But they know I'll come round, so they don't mind, and it saves them a bit of money if it's over winter anyway. The window washer's just saying, for you, Jordan, 8 weekly customers tend to stick with you in your experience. It's not too frequent. Yeah. And I've got a mixed bag because I have some people who just want you every 4 weeks because they're from that generation where it's easy and you get paid every 4 weeks. So they just want you every 4 weeks. And you get some that are happy with every 8 because it saves them money. So like I say, Jordan, just stick with it, mate. It will come together. It's just you need more customers. I think if you had more customers, it wouldn't matter whether they're 4 or 8 weekly. But at least with your 8 weeklies, you can push the price a bit higher and justify it. So you can tell them, like, if it was every 4 weeks and I charge you this much, in a year it's this much money. If you went for 8 weekly, yes, the clean is a little bit more, but over the year you're saving this amount. And then imagine having all them customers at that price. You'll be laughing compared to like me. No worries, Ched, mate. Welcome. Thanks for commenting on my videos as well, mate. Nelly saying monthly or bi-monthly, so much easier to manage rather than say 6 and 12. Ched saying 6 weekly is a good compromise. I think that's kind of like a sweet spot. But I've got such an array of customers. I used to do 4, 6 and 8 weeks when I first started, but there's no way you can't manage that. That's why in the end I just did 4 and 8. You're right, Dawn, mate. Window cleaning, some monthly, mainly 6 weekly. Anything more, it's charged as a one-off. I think it also depends where you live, isn't it? Because I'm quite rural, so if there's a storm, some of the houses, they really get it because we're like with the open fields and that. And then you've got the tractors going up and down the busy roads, and when the house is right close to it, they get plastered, so they tend to want monthly. Busy with gutters all year now. Well, nice one. I suppose it's nice to sprinkle them out through the year, really, isn't it? I know for this month with some gutter jobs, I probably saw me on some of my videos I released this week. I'm going to push them to Saturday this week, so I still do me Monday to Friday window cleaning. So the Saturday, okay, I'm working on a weekend where I've just got used to not doing that, but I need to, and that'll just be a Brucey bonus. You haven't got as many on Go Cardless as you like. Oh, really, Matt? I thought everyone was. Yeah, I'd love to have everyone on Go Cardless. Pure water works well on regular cleans, but if you ever get a conservatory that's got very dirty, you're losing money. Yeah, everything just takes longer anyway, doesn't it? But at least with a conservatory, to save water, you could use their tap water if the water pressure is good enough and they've got an outside tap for a start. But sometimes it's just faffing around, and because I work as a 2 now, or it used to be a 3, we just use the pure water, and because my work's local, I just go home and bomb it back up with my submersible pump. And I've been putting my flow rate up to 60 because I know a lot of people telling me, do your higher flow rate. I mean, I used to, when I started, I was at 30. Originally, I was 25, but then I went to 30. Then I got the balls to push up, and I've liked it at 40. Then I've crept it to 50, and now I'm going 60. And I think it was Ched replied a comment in one of my videos because I use 6mm hose on my van, the hose reel. He's saying highest you can get is 70, and if you go over 70 psi, basically you're not gaining anything. It's putting too much strain on your pump. If I've forgotten his name from Spring, he done a brilliant video where he's talking about really top your flow rate rather than pushing up the pump. You're best to get a bigger hose. So the bigger the diameter of the hose, the better the flow rate you'll get out without putting any extra stress on your pump, because you're just going to run the risk of your pump wearing out faster than normal, really. But I've got 6mm hose. I've been doing it 60. I do feel it's sped me up. I'm more confident enough. I'm getting a nice run of water down the glass when the brush is moving up and down as well. So I can see how that's like a rinse whilst you're cleaning. And then when I do a sweeping motion, after I've scrubbed up and down, I just sweep left to right from top to bottom, just to quickly like sweep off the rubbish off the glass, so to speak. So when I do my rinse, you can rinse fast anyway because it's all been pre-rinsed. And with the water coming out that fast, it's good at the nooks and crannies, I'm finding. But cobwebs are still cobwebs, and it's horrible when they're like Klingons, because what you find is you just feel you're wasting loads of water. But when I get more confident enough, I do at Cheddar, I'm going to try at 70. Jordan's just thanking everyone for the help, and he's asked basically what sort of prices you're charging per window or different way of quotes. Mate, everyone's got loads of different ways of quoting and pricing. This is the hardest thing. Don't do what I did. Go £1 a window, because I thought like fixed squaddy, £1 a window, it's easier to count. But mate, they're sort of like prices from the 80s. And your good customers will start telling you and saying you should bump it up more. So I kind of listened to them, and then I settled for £1.30 a window. That's what I do. And then I just use that as getting you in the right ballpark figure. And then if the house, for example, is going to be hard to access, so these things are going to add time on, then add a few quid on for that. Or if you have to use a ladder to get onto a flat roof so you can get to a window from there, for example, add a little bit on, because that's extra time, that sort of thing. Just get a feel for it, and you'll get your confidence of feeling more confident to say these prices. Because but it's really hard when you're starting out. You tend to go in low because you want the work. You just want regular work, and you're being an ex-power as well. You're not shy of working hard neither, and that's your wired up that way. So you just throw yourself at it anyway. And it's a bit hard when you ain't got experience, because you can't think how long a job is going to take you because you've got nothing to go off, if you get what I mean. So some people look at it and just go off what they think for time. So for example, they want £40 an hour and they think it's going to take half hour to clean a house, then they'll charge 20 quid. But it's really hard to know that when you don't know any of this stuff. So for me, I charge per window. Or sometimes I look at what I think of as a window, and if it's a big dormer window, I just imagine how many windows fit in there. So not dormer window, sorry. I mean bifold door, for example. So I might count that as 2 or 3 windows, depending on the size. So that's how I do it. Come up with the price, and then basically add or take off something depending on access, that sort of thing. Or if I know it's going to be really quick, I feel like I'll be robbing them coming out with that price. But you've got to remember, you've got to travel there and travel to somewhere else as well, which is what a lot of people forget, and that lowers your hourly rate for the day. There's lots of different ways of doing it. I think Squeaky Clean Dave on a channel, when he was quoting, was saying like downstairs windows he charges a certain amount, next level up it's a bit more, and then if it's a higher level like 3rd story window he charges a bit more. So that's another way of doing it. Matt's just saying try and get new customers on it. Bad payers get put on hold until they sign up, like with the Go Card list. Yeah, with me, I'll send out payment reminders and I'll have like a link to me Go Card list, because I use Go Squeegee and I do it that way. And I do get some people sign up to that way. And also, if I think going forward for these ones who are serial skippers, it'd be like, look, unless you sign up for Go Card list, I'm not going to come around and clean your windows. But I can say that because I've got plenty of customers and people are still asking me for quotes, so I can swap them. But it's a bit hard when you're starting out. You sort of like take everyone, don't you? Matt's just saying to Jordan, I have all my prices on my website. Feel free to have a look. Would depend on the area. Yeah, Jordan, that's another way some people do it. They just go off 3-bedroom size houses, 4 bedrooms. Thing is, where I live, every 3-bedroom house is different. So that's why I just count the windows, because you can have an old house, but they've got loads of extensions built on there because I'm rural. But I think if you're in a built up area where there's standard houses, it's easier to do. And just know you may lose on some houses, but you're going to make on others because some have slightly more windows than that. So it'll probably even out. But it just saves you going around quoting all the time, for example, and people know already how much it's going to be. So they just get in touch here, book it in. And then as part of your process, you can have them sign up to go cardless. Then you'll go around do the clean. But I like going around quoting in person because I've got loads of elderly people, for example, and sometimes people feel vulnerable, don't they? So they want to meet you, speak to you, weigh you up, but it gives you a chance to weigh them up as well. Break the ice, so to speak. And every house is different where I am, so I like to look at potential problems and have a think about it and just introduce myself that way. But when you're really busy, it does take up a lot of your time. Ian from Spring. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Ian. Yeah. Cheers, Nelly. Whoa, what have I done there? Right, yours is set 75 psi. Using the univalve helps saves water between windows. Always use customers outside tap for conservatory roofs and fascia soffits and gutters, or gutter fascias and soffits. Yeah, and it helps as well, doesn't it, if they've got a good water pressure. Jed's saying as well, here's one for Jed. Use a price for standard windows and big windows, plus a few quid to cover. I remember you saying that, packing up and setting up. So he has basically a fee to set up, a fee to pack up, plus his pricing for the windows. And he's saying at the beginning you'll be very slow, but speed will come, so your hourly rate goes up. And also getting your work more compact, closer to each other, because it's less time travelling between cleans. That will have a big impact as well. Yeah, Jordan's just saying to Matt, £1 a window. Mate, I was doing the same. And you're doing what I'm doing, £1.30, but feel cheeky. No, mate, because when I first started, which was 8 years ago, okay, I got out and I was, say, charging £1 per window. If you go to the Bank of England inflation calculator, you will see with the rate of inflation, it's £1.30. I think it's £1.35 basically, will be the equivalent of £1 8 years ago. So even though I'm charging £1.30 a window and you're thinking it's a bit cheeky, well, actually, just think 8 years ago, that is £1 a window. And just look at the price of milk, peanut butter, shit roll, and all them sort of things. They are going up and at an alarming rate. You know what I mean? And you're just putting your prices up every couple of years, maybe. And it's what's in your bank balance at the end of the day. So I've also known when I've spoke to other people, my window cleaning prices are me going £1.30 a window, for example. The total price I come up with is pretty much equal to what other window cleaners around my area have been charging, or what customers have told me as well. So take it with a pinch of salt. So I'm probably not much far off what a lot of other people around here. I know there's people who can charge more as well and get it. So it's all about confidence, isn't it? And what people want is someone who will come round when you say you'll come round, clean the windows, and just be happy with them. So you're reliable, and people will pay good money for that, and they'll want to keep you. So yeah, I don't think it's too bad, mate. But I know when you first start and you feel horrible, quoting honestly, and even now, is the hardest part of any job, I think, because you so want to be fine line of getting it right, so it's fair for you, but really fair for the customer, because you want that return in work as well. But you work hard for it, and you will. Yeah, see, Ched saying, don't feel cheeky, just be confident. And that's the other thing I found. The longer I took doing quotes, I think as well, the more uncomfortable a customer felt about me. Whereas I think you come out with a price fairly quick, and obviously it's what they kind of think is fair as well. They'll have a lot of trust in you as well. But it just all comes. It's horrible saying lack of experience, but it's really hard when you're starting. It was for me, but it will come. And You'll, mate, Jordan, you're going to just monitor everything when you're cleaning. You're going to watch what you're doing. You're going to be thinking, what can I do that's going to make my life easier, speeding up, but you're not working, because you'll just be, well, I'll just go for it and work really fast and really hard. But you'll get there. You'll find little things that just speed you up without much effort. Remember, smooth is fast, that sort of thing. And you'll work it out. And then you'll know what you feel right and is wrong. And you'll be like me, because you'll have a soft spot for people. So you'll meet people in bad situations, for example. So you'll be feeling to give them a good price and all that sort of thing. But, you know, do what you want to do, mate. It's your business. But yeah, because of your job, you'll be good at like the hearts and minds. So honestly, you'll be fine. Just think of using that, hearts and minds, with your customers. You know, and just chatting around like when you've been on patrols and you're getting to know people and that sort of thing. You've got it in spades, mate. Dawn's just saying, yeah, correct pricing can make or break you. So definitely not a pound a window, mate. That's exactly what I did. And I soon learned I had to change it. Oh, you're right, Matt. So you're someone as well who's just started as well. Yeah, I hope it's all helping. Like I say, join the Window Cleaners Hub group. It's on Facebook. Matt from Your Cleaner Windows has set it up, and he's got a couple of people as moderators. It's just basically this sort of people in here, so it's going to be tight knit, and the idea is just help each other out. Yeah, cheers, Ched. Don't forget to hit the like button, and also if you haven't, subscribe to my channel. Hey, check that out. Hi, mate. I always quote in person, but I do have an estimate calculator on my website. Yeah, I've seen a few window cleaners do that. Don't know what one it is, Jordan, but there's a couple out there where they've got, like saying here, and you can put in how many large, small windows. But obviously, if you just do one large window, you can see what they're charging, or what they charge as a small window, that sort of thing. And he's saying as well, you insist up and go cardless before the first clean. So he's got like a sales funnel, and it just makes your life so much easier. And I wish I did that from the start. Again, I was just too scared to lose people, so I just let them pay. I just covered all angles, but it makes your admin a nightmare. Yeah, and also Ched saying as well, so if you're doing £1.30 a window and it's 9 windows, round it up to the nearest pound as well. Nelly saying we have set houses, prices on house type. We have a lot of new estates. Commercial is per pane of glass rather than the window. So if the window, say, got 2 or 3 panes, it's per pane. Got you. And his commercial is harder to quote. Yeah. I've got some commercial work, but I wouldn't really class it as commercial. They're like industrial units, and they're mainly customers I've already got who own and said, can you clean me my unit at work? So I've kind of just charged it the same as a house, really, because they know what I charge for their house and a little bit more. But I think in the commercial world, people charge a lot more. But I think if you're going to go full-time commercial, that's why I haven't capped. They're commercial type properties. I haven't got tons, but I haven't really classed it as commercial because I'm not in a contract. I think like commercial work, you might be doing it for a year or 2 years. So as a contract, but also you need to charge more because you don't get paid for 90 days. And like someone said to me, if that company goes bust, you've lost 3 months worth of work and you only get a penny for every pound they owe you as well. So that's why I think everyone charges more as well. And you lose the work, can't you? You can go to another vendor. But residential is what I'd rather stick with. I like, and you're just having the chats with people, meet all sorts, don't you? It's good. Oh, sorry, Jordan, I'm probably not fast enough on these comments, but another question. Sorry, lads. What's the crack with the rain? I've had a few customers get slightly annoyed when I've turned up as a drizzle. A lot of people here will say, train them, mate, into you can clean in the rain. I've had the same thing. And yeah, it can be annoying. I've said it from day one. I tell them I can clean in the rain because the rainwater is soft water, like the water I use, you know, when you explain how it works. But I tell them my water is far softer than the rain. But if your windows are clean and it rains, the rain dries off and it doesn't leave any watermarks. So that's why you should say I can clean in the rain and the rain will have no effect with how it dries off. It's just people going back in the old days, I suppose, where, you know what I mean, people had a lot more dirtier windows and stuff like that, and then the rain's just going to carry the dirt onto the glass from off the frames. But if it's clean, it's not going to do anything. It's just some people you can't win against, mate. I mean, I've got some customers where the wife is okay with me cleaning in the rain, but if the husband's there, he tells me there's no point. So I know to ask if they're both there, because the wife always wins, doesn't she? But yeah, I just try and explain to them, mate, that your water is softer than rainwater, but even the rainwater does not leave hard water marks. So if you've got a clean window and it rains, it's not going to get dirty. But, you know, as well, I would say to them, obviously, if it's wet and it's going to start being a hurricane and it's blowing dirt onto the glass, well, obviously it's going to stick and then it's going to dry spotty. But that's not the water, it's not the rain, it's the wind. So it is a hard one, mate. And I know a lot of people here would tell you just clean. I mean, I tell them the only time when it's raining I won't come out is when it's torrential rain, because I don't want to get soaking wet. I work in the rain and you get wet, but getting in and out your van, all your seats and everything just gets so wet and goes mouldy and ruins everything. So yeah, if it's really bad, high winds, torrential rain, no. Light drizzles, showers, yes, basically. Quoting in person, you also get a feel if the customer's going to be a pain in the bum or not. Yeah, from the window washer. And like I say, I always like to go around because I introduce myself if they've never met me before. They want to weigh me up and they either like you or don't. And also, it's a two-way street, isn't it? So well said, yeah. And you'll start to learn the red flags of what you normally get is an indicator that someone's going to be a pain, but you give them the benefit of the doubt. And then later on, you're like, I was right. They're going to be a pain, but it's too late now. But eventually, you'll trust your instincts. Matt's saying you might have a lack of experience, Jordan, mate, but you'll make it up in the passion as you're new to it, and you'll never lose it as well. I've had plenty of people, mate, who are ex-window cleaners, and I've gone round to clean their windows, and the first thing they've said to me is, you've got a job for life. And like I was speaking to someone else, Ben in Whiz Beach, he's someone who's been going about 6 months. He's worked for this guy, but this guy has been window cleaning for 40 years. You know what I mean? And some of the things I'm talking about in here, other people said they've been doing it for decades, and you're going to have good months and hard months. Nothing changes. But you just get out there. Nellie's just saying to you, Jordan, mate, you'll find out which customers don't mind having the windows cleaned in the rain. And also, Jordan, is you've probably heard a lot of people saying a rain guarantee. So basically what you're saying is, if I come round, clean your windows and it's raining, you've got a 24-hour guarantee. So basically, if your windows after 24 hours are dirty, or say like I've done it on a Friday, I tell people I'll give you the weekend. So on Monday, as long as you tell me, you know, by Monday, or like within 24 hours on a normal week, I'll come round and clean them again for free. And they might look at you a bit daft, and you're like, well, I'm that confident that the rain is not going to affect the windows when they clean them. And you're going to back it up. And you'd go round there to keep them happy. I've had a few callbacks. I don't get many, but everyone's so glad, because as if they don't think you're going to come round, but I'm there straight away. And that's what I say. If a customer's not happy, they're not going to stay with me. So, you know what I mean? I'll come round. I'll make mistakes. I'm human. But do that rain guarantee, mate. Just tell them. Or try and talk them round. Just say, look, just see how it goes. Tomorrow I'll give you a ring and have a look at windows and tell me if they're clean or not. Because I have done that to someone and then they were fine. Seeing is believing, innit? That's what the Queen said. So I'm just seeing where the comments are. Dawn's just saying you have to train customers that you may turn up on rainy days, except for like really howling weather. Just possible to turn up on sunny days only, as we live in the UK, and you'd probably have to charge double what I'm charging to make a living, because half the time we can't go out cleaning, you know what I mean? Christ knows what it's like in Wales and Scotland. Here we go. Ooh, a full-time employee working 34 hours is $9,759 per year in 2007 by going off the minimum wage. And now that is 21,587. So again, that'd be minimum wage. Inflation rates can be deceiving. Use your costs to work out what you need to charge. It's a bit hard, isn't it? Because it's like them £1 hot dogs, for example. They seem cheap, but if you can churn out a lot in volume, you can make a lot of money in the right spot. You know what I mean? But you don't want to be too cheap because that could be your downfall. Ched saying, I wonder if one session we could have some pricey pictures of front and rear houses. Yeah, that's a good idea, Ched. I could be crafty here, can I? When I get some quotes of big house. What would you charge? Yeah, we could just pick stuff up, can't we, front and back, and have a discussion about it. I don't know if we could maybe do that live or do like a subscribers only, so, or like members only or something like that. So it's just us lot, or just put it out there for the whole world to see. It'd be interesting to see. I'm sure you get them like £10 a window comments or something like that, but it'd be a good idea. It'd be interesting to see the range, wouldn't it, from lowest to highest, and sort of like see it. Because everyone does stuff differently. No one does anything the same. But yeah, that'd be a good idea, Ched. I'll try and make a note of that. Matt's saying, yeah, rain guaranteed to clean for free if they're not happy. And they'll get back to you. At the end of the day, what have they got to lose? You know what I mean? It's just got to bear with it. They'll come round. Just got to bite your lip and smile. You know what I mean? Good advice. I hope so. I have a genuine passion. It's just a different ball game to the military. Yeah, because you always had a safety net. You had 3 meals. Well, before it was pay as you starve, wasn't it? 3 meals a day, a roof over your head, whether you had money or not. And if we're skint, you got to carry out, didn't you? And a curry. That was our version of being skint back there. But Civvy Street, you skint, you are got nothing. Totally different. Because Jordan, mate, I've had quite a few reunions. I said I'll go, and then I failed to turn up because basically I couldn't afford to take the day off to go to a mate's dining out or like reunion because I haven't got any money and I need to work or a big bill. And some of them just don't understand it. You know what I mean? And I said, look, it's different out here. And yeah, you just want to cover your bases, don't you? Yeah, nice one, mate. Just do it. Look on other people's websites and you'll see that people put in a rain guarantee. And because I used to think, what's that? And you can see what it is, basically. I mean, even doing traditional, isn't it? If you've cleaned them that way and say, look, it's going to rain, the window's clean, so it's just rainwater and it's really soft. So it will dry off the same as my pure water and leave no marks because your window's clean. Probably bet them a pint or something like that. No problem cleaning windows with pure water in the rain. Still get the results. It's just, yeah, the customer's perception that's the problem. That's all it is. You've got to slowly win them round. It will get there, mate. And that's what I find. If it's a husband and wife, you normally find one's fine, one isn't. You also have to keep your prices realistic. At the end of the day, having your windows cleaned is a luxury and not a necessity to a lot of people. That's true. And, you know, like we say, it's hard. Well, your customers are finding it hard as well. So if you start pricing too high, people are going to turn you away. It's trying to find what you can maximum get away with, isn't it? But you go with what you feel's comfortable. But it is horrible when you start to work out some jobs. Honestly, Jordan, mate, when I was first starting, some of the things I'd do and the way I did it, the job would take ages and I was way too cheap. And I'd basically go to my van to get something, but I'd be crying because I'd worked out I was on literally £5 an hour. And it's only the fact that I didn't have like lots of work in that day that I could take it on the chin. But as you get busier, you'll find your time starts to become more valuable. And then it will work itself out. It's just a journey you've got to go through. But at the end of the day, do what you want to do and what you're comfortable with. And like when you're doing all, like on the sniper course, take your chances early if you're going to take them. See what you can get away with early. That's basically what I would do. Obviously, window cleaning. Robbie is just saying, when you knock on next door, when you're there, I find that helps. So yeah, what he's saying as well is good advice. If you've got a customer, you could probably knock on a couple of houses either side of that one or put leaflets through the door because if they're away at work or something, and then you might get them. And then basically where you've got work, you're building work up in them areas, if you get what I mean. And then especially if they're next door, where your van's parked in one place, and that will up your hourly rate, so to speak, because you've got them next to each other. I think that's another reason why years ago window cleaners probably used to be cheap, because you're trying to get the whole street. Because you're obviously walking around carrying a ladder, and you're not having to drive or to all these different houses, and you could just do the whole street in one day. Go down one side, come up the other, and then you'd nip across the pub across the road because you're well happy because you made enough money that day. It's little things like that. So yeah, try and knock on doors local to where you're cleaning and see if you can get the neighbours. Ted's just saying to you, Jordan, when quoting, tell the customers you do work in most weathers, but heavy rain or wind, you'll be at home. Yeah, Jordan, mate, I don't know if you've seen my videos, but when it gets gusts of over 30 miles an hour, I tend to have a word myself about, am I going to go out window cleaning? So I look. So if the gusts are very frequent, very often, then I say no. If they're like every now and then, I'll lean towards a yes. But the stronger the gusts are over 30 miles an hour, the more I'm likely to say no. Because the last thing I want is I clean someone's windows, and while they're wet, I've got the wind blowing grit on there because I know then they're going to dry spotty and I'm going to get callbacks. And sometimes the customer thinks it's nice when you're thinking of them. And as annoying as it is, you can't work that day. There's always admin to get on with. So rather than being out there and ducking and diving all the wind and waiting for the chance, I just feel like I could have got on with something at home that I don't normally get the chance to do. And then I'm just a day late and that's it. But when you haven't got like tons of customers, you can make them days back up, if you get what I mean. So yeah, think about the wind, mate. That's what I do. And also it's hard to work when your pole's being blown all over the place sometimes. It's just, you might as well just stay at home. Yeah, and Ched's always saying, when you're quoting, what you're saying here is, mate, is like if you get 80% of them say yes, you're probably quoting right. If 100% say yes, you're too cheap. And that's what I am. I do get a couple of no's, but the majority are yes. So it just shows really that's another good little indicator as well, isn't it? How many people say yes? And sort of try it out. Dawn's just saying window cleaning is one of the cheapest bills most will get. But people, pay more to have the bins cleaned now regularly than what it is windows. Is it like £3.50, £4 a bin? Something like that. John's just saying, you have been knocking on people's next doors. Most common answer I get is I've got a window cleaner. The thing is, mate, what you could also see on that is if someone knocked on the doors of your customers, that's what they're going to say. I've got a window cleaner. So doing a good job, they're going to like you. And because they're going to get to know you as well, people will just stick by you. As long as you're doing a good job, there'll be customers for life until they move or something like that. Because they don't want to go for this rigmarole of trying to find someone else they trust. At the end of the day, isn't it? You're turning up around someone's house while at work and they're trusting you to go in the back garden or whatever, do what you need to do and leave it. And you're not going to nick anything. You're not going to damage anything. So there's a lot of trust. So people will stand by you. And if they're not happy, they will drop you and go for someone else. But it just shows, you know what I mean? If you've got good customers, stand by you, mate. Yeah, leave flyers at every house, Facebook, Google Business, van sign written, smart uniform. From day one, mate, have you got your van sign written, Jordan? And was it Matt as well who's on here saying for starter advice? That was one of the first things I did. I cancelled one of my resettlement courses because it clashed with something. But I was just adamant I'm window cleaning, I'm getting set up. You know what I mean? No one's going to get in my way. So as soon as I got my van installed, I then got it all sign written as well. Before I started, it was all done. And it's been brilliant. So I'm just trying to see where we are. Yeah, and Google reviews, I've added that on the bottom of my invoices now, just saying, tell us how to do in a link. And I've got about 3 Google reviews that way. It's 3 more than I wouldn't have had. John's saying, if they say they're ever windy, just give them a card. Cheddies, and say if they ever get let down, give you a call. Yeah, and you can just say, I don't want to pinch any work, but, please consider me or something like that. Okay, you're roughly £2 a window and your ratio of closing was 72%. So that's good. So there you go. They are, Jordan. Like when you're feeling maybe £1.30 is a bit. Here we are, £2 a window. Probably depends on areas, doesn't it? Okay, just saying you do that as well. Never know. Yeah, exactly, mate. Plant the seed, isn't it? And just do it that way. People are always watching you. Nelly saying most estates have Facebook groups. We offer some customers a free clean if they get us a neighbour after free cleans. There's loads of little things you can do. And Jordan's saying I got a cheap RK magnet sign on the back of the van. Don't worry, mate. Just build it up and the money will come. I don't know how much it is to sign right a van now. I know mine was £400. I got the back, the sides and the front done. It's probably more than that now. But yeah. What I did find though, Jordan, mate, is when I had problems, even in my first year, I had a problem with my engine on my van and that took me out. I think it was for a month. And I was working from the family car with barrels of water in a gardener's backpack. And people are still coming up to me, asking me to clean the windows. Although in my head, I was thinking, oh my God, they're going to think I'll be doing it next for nothing because I'm some kind of skank out of a car. But it wasn't. So you're still going to get work, mate. Ched saying, what do people term as a window? Okay, a bay, patio doors, bifolds. That's a good question. I'm thinking, you know, when you get a window with 3 panes of glass, a triple, that's what I class as to anything up there up to there is £1.30. And then when you start to get bigger than that, I will charge more. But I won't say if it's 4 panes of glass that's double. I just count everything into equivalent. So say if there was 3 windows with 4 panes of glass, for example, instead of calling it 4 windows, I call it 5. Because each extra third I'd add together and that'll just form an extra window, if that makes sense. If it's like a patio door, I just go with the flow and say that's a window. But if it's one of them patio doors with windows either side, then I'll class it as 2 windows or £2. And it's the same like bay windows. If it's not massive, I charge it as 1. If it's bigger, then maybe I'll charge it as £2 or 2 windows, depending on the side. And with the bifolds, I just look at what I would charge maximum for £1.30 for a window. How many of them would fit into the bifold? Because you get them all different sizes as well. That's basically what I do. I just try and, whatever you do is try and keep it simple, I suppose. Dawn said we did our own sign writing on your van, cost £80. There you go. That's someone you could probably speak to there, Jordan, or Matt, not from Your Cleaner Windows, the other Matt. Mills Cleaner saying he's posted in the Window Cleaners Hub on Facebook your price calculator, which you use. They are, Jordan. Just look up Window Cleaners Hub on Facebook. I think there's some questions that just proves basically you've seen this live, and then it'll get you in the group, mate, and you'll get access to that. Thanks for posting that. Matt's saying your van was £250 to have yours signed written. That's cool because yours is nice, actually, isn't it? If it's any use, I'm sure it will be, mate. Your calculator. Ched saying companies online do van sign writing kits. Here we go for about £80, and then you can fit them yourselves. John's saying definitely take a look, would look more professional. I think even as well, if it doesn't look professional, but it looks like you're trying to be, that goes a long way as well, doesn't it? Trying to look the part as well makes you feel like the part. And I think people like to see that. Trying to be slightly different. Just got rid of the backpack, thank God now, for a van mounted system, which obviously wipes the money out. Yeah, but it will do you good, mate. Lifting up 25-litre barrels to fill up a backpack after a period of time can do your back in, because we all do it where manual handling, we're in a rush, we're not perhaps the best position we should be, and as we're getting older, you put your back out, and that's not very nice neither, and you still got to work. So, but I'd keep hold of that backpack though, mate, because it will still come in handy for them ones where, say, you got to walk through a garage to get to a couple of windows or something around the back. It is handy to have. Or you could use that, as you probably see in some people's videos, where they mix TFR on it and spray it on for the face ups and gutters, that sort of thing. So I'd still keep hold of it. Where are we? Ched-san, I sort of looked at vertical sections. For the windows, each is a single window. Patio doors is 2 windows. Bifolds, I take it 1 big window and a bifold is 1 standard, per section. Bay windows, minimum 3 standard windows. Got you. Yeah, it's interesting, but you just find what works for you, doesn't it, and go for it, and try people's different methods. It's probably good to come up with about 3 or 4 different methods people use. Try them all on one particular house and see if they're all round the same. The problem is, isn't it, you want to be consistent, because if you clean one house and the neighbours up the road and they're the same house, but you know what I mean, different prices, they're going to talk to each other. That's the way I've always thought of it. Just getting used to the hose getting caught. Mate, wheelie bins, pots, you can't get away with it. But yeah, you just got to think where to park the van so you can get the best run or path for your hose to go through. And sometimes if I'm going to a corner, I just learn, I do so many arm pulls, like you're in the Royal Navy pulling a rope or something. I count how many of them, and I know that'll get me around the back of that property. So for every house, it's weird. You just remember little things in your head, and that all helps speed you up as well. But they do get caught and they get a mind of their own sometimes. You've got to laugh. And Nellie's saying, personally, price of window is 2 panes. Okay, top and bottom. Got you. Jordan saying, Ched, sorry, saying, yeah, don't get rid of the backpack. Like I said, yeah, it's worth keeping hold of. And you bought a vinyl cutter, did half your own van to add services, but that cost a decent amount. Okay, Matt saying he's got his sign written last year. I've also had branded clothing, tried to be different from everyone else in the area who go around in their jeans and trainers. You've probably seen me in my tracky bottoms lately, but that's because I got so flipping fat over Christmas I couldn't fit my work trousers on. So I had to go and join the gym, Jordan. Started running again. Try and lose a bit of weight so I can get back in them. Yeah, keep the backpack, mate. Honestly, it'll come in handy. Always, anything you got. I've still got old poles. They'll come in handy for something else. Or when you've got a mate who's starting up, you can say, here, borrow this, use that. You know what I mean? Because you remember what it was like starting up. And that helps people out massively as well. Now, remember that. Excuse me. Finally back on the cider. Oh, that's nice. And I've got my youngest daughter. It's her birthday tomorrow, 19. Where did that go? My eldest daughter's 27. It's just mental. Got branded clothing. Okay, veteran-owned company on it. Keep up the fizz, yeah. Got to, innit? It's getting older. It's very easy to go the opposite way. I'll tell you what, it's nice to feel you're fit. I'm no way like I used to be. That's never going to happen. But I feel so good once I've come out. It's just nothing. You know what I mean? I go on the treadmill for a run because I can't run around the village here at night because a car like a mile away just blinds me with these, even with these glasses on, and I run into wheelie bins and things. So I just go in the gym, run on the treadmill a bit, just getting back into it. And I just do a bit of the old dumbbells at home, basically. But you can't overdo it because you've got to think with that window cleaning, if they're all hurting your shoulders and arms, they're going to kill all day, aren't they? But yeah, it is nice to do a bit of something. Ched's saying, feel more confident in branded workwear. Amazon or eBay is cheap, even just a branded polo shirt. Workwear Express I was getting mine from. But I think if you buy the clothes yourself and you went somewhere local that does like prints and stuff or embroidery for schools and get it done that way, it sometimes works out cheaper. Nelly's saying, still got your old trad gear from the 90s. Still comes in handy though, I bet. And you can't lose what you're comfortable with, can you? Okay, Matt's saying use creative branded workwear. They do good workwear packages for about £100. It does help. And you get comments when you got it as well. I want to get some stuff if I ever get some money in the bank, where I'm going to get what I've already done, where it's embroidered with crystal clean windows, but I'm going to have my name underneath, or Matthew will have one for his name. And then my wife Teresa will have hers. I've got another son, another daughter, another two sons. I've already said Matthew. I've got 4 kids, and they can all have one with a name. Just makes it easier when we get stuff out of the washing machine and the dryer with the names embroidered on there, as opposed to looking in the labels where you've written names on and that. It just makes it easier that way. And also the customers, it's easier for them to remember all our names because there's a lot of us when we're on the big jobs together anyway. And it's a good crack doing that as a family. But yeah, embroidered stuff's good. Lasts longer than the printed. I've still got some of my original jackets actually, but it's annoying. You pay for that and then it gets flipping teared from a thorn bush or something. And as well, Jordan, mate, you'll laugh. I had a Berghaus jacket, 10 years old. It's like a sponge. And I didn't have a lot of money, so I saw on TikTok, I just bought a waterproof jacket, 16 quid. And I just thought, if it's rubbish to work in, at least be good enough maybe to walk the dog or walk to the pub. And that's been brilliant for 16 quid. Happy with that. So, yeah, that'll do me. The only problem is it's not as breathable as a Gore-Tex jacket, but I don't tend to work with it on too long. But it's been great in this cold weather. Okay, use somewhere local which do a great job of your logo. It creates a professional image. Yes, and it's tax deductible. So if you get any clothing and put your name on it, it's tax deductible. So if you just bought a pair of trousers, for example, you're not supposed to put it down for as an expense. But if you've got your logo on it, you can. And it saves you destroying your personal clothing. Keep thinking about doing a t-shirt with window cleaner and ask for a quote on the back. Well, my dad used to joke saying instead of window cleaner, it should have cleaner windows or cleaner window. So I've often thought of that as a joke. Nelly's saying we tried to buy as local as possible, join local business. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it as well, isn't it? Because they're then going to promote you in return. And it's nice to be able to pick up a phone and know the person on the end, than rather than like dealing with a national company, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Oh, I love me buffalo, Jordan, mate. It's obviously I can't embroider that, but yeah. Oh God, when did I buy my first one of them? I think it was about 1996. I was doing Cambrian training, and lads were wearing them. And even though a bit of a fight to get on, I just would use nothing else. Absolutely brilliant. I know when the softy jackets come out, and they were the latest craze. I didn't like them. I just sort of stick with me buffalo, and it's absolutely brilliant in this weather. It's always on. It gets me a few comments. I've had like a guy who's ex-Met police, and he looked at me and just said, "Are you ex-forces?" And I laughed, going, "Is it because of the buffalo?" And he went, "Yeah, they're ancient." He said, "I used to have one," so we had a good laugh about that. But they're great, aren't they? Absolutely love them. And the only time I'm not wearing it really is summer. The rest of the time I'm always wearing it. It's cracking. Nelly's saying rely on local trade to try and support local as much as possible. And like you say, you all look after each other, don't you? Dawn saying looking professional as possible not only gets you work, but when you turn up to quote carries weight, so you can confidently ask for your price. And like I said, people like to see it as well, don't they? Did try Facebook group posting, but don't find it effective. We get buffalo jackets issued now. Oh God, I have to see if there's anyone I know still in and get me a few. Wow. I did see they had like an equivalent of, but I don't think it's as good as. But you're saying proper buffalo jackets issued. Wow. I'm jealous. Too old anyway. Yeah, with Facebook groups, I used to post in there, but I found you get the wrong person that you want because it's someone normally asking just for a one-off and they're not going to be a regular customer. And then it was hard to get the money or they're expecting you to be peanuts. So just trust your price and stand your ground and you'll get what you want, basically. So I stay away from Facebook. There is a good app or God, what do you call it? I'll try and find it. Next door. So it is an app, but it's also a website. So I'm just going to try and find it on the internet for you. That's really good. I'll try and talk about that briefly. Okay, I'll just go over to here and sorry, I just get off the Xline website. I'll just put in the URL. Oh, didn't do that well. Right, next door. You can get an app on your phone or it's a website. You can just sign in on your browser like this through here. And how does it work? Basically, when you sign in, you'll sign in, like for me, it'll put me into my village where I live, Parson Drove, but then it also puts you attached to the neighbouring villages. So I've got 7 villages around me that it puts me in a group of as well. So think of it as Facebook, but for adults, although it's starting to get a bit more advertising on there. And that's great. And there's loads of posts in there and you'll get notifications. So I go into notifications and turn them off because it'll keep going off on your phone loads because like people put in my cat's missing and loads of people respond, I've seen it here, I've seen it there. But if you go in there stealthily and just look round, you'll see people asking, does anyone recommend a window cleaner? And then it's great when you see your name being put down by quite a few people because you've now got a good reputation. And when people see it and they'll get in touch with you through that way as well. So Nextdoor I found is a good place, not necessarily to advertise, but where people are name drop you, mate. But you could do little advertisements there. You can set ads and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't pay any advertisement, mate. I think you can put 1 post a month in there. That's what I do. And then just let people say my name. That's what I do. So Nextdoor is good. And like I said, there's an app as well as the going on the browser online. And it was an 80-year-old woman in my first year that told me about this. And I didn't know anything about it then. So I'm just trying to see where we are with... There's been quite a few comments come in. Oh, I obviously need better glasses. So I'm just catching up on these. I put work trousers on without logo down as PPE, protects me from the rain. Yeah, I don't put any logos on mine, but I still put through as an expense. No one's asked me about it. But yeah, it's a good idea, PPPE. PPPE. PPE. Sod's law in it. You got your shorts on and then you have to get to a window. You go round into like a field and it's just full of thorns and stinging nettles. You're like, nice one. Yeah, get to know other window cleaners. Facebook is race to the bottom round here. Yeah, I'd stay away. It's got the wrong people, on there. There are some genuine people on there who get in touch with you, I find, but they get in touch with you, if you get what I mean. I find Facebook groups, yeah, waste of time, Matt's saying as well. I don't know. I haven't used Bark, Jordan. Matt, from Your Cleaner Windows, you've used Bark, is it? I'm not sure. But I don't use Bark. Yeah, Dawn's saying as well, Nextdoor app. Yeah, that is really good. Like I said, it puts you in touch with neighbouring villages as well as yours. And you get to see what's going on as well. And you'll also get to see who's a good plumber, a good electrician. So it comes in handy later. And Ellie said as well, Darren from Green Pro done a video with window cleaner on his t-shirt. Yeah, well, like I said, my dad's thinking clean a window and then your phone number. Okay, Bark is paying for potential leads that have been sold multiple times. So you'll buy something but not necessarily get a good job out of it neither. I can make a business page on Nextdoor. Yeah, that's what I've done. So I've got my own profile, then one for my business as well. And you can post like in Google your pictures and that. Definitely get a Google business page, Jordan. Free to do. I wouldn't even bother with lead generation websites or checker trade, Jordan. I wouldn't. Honestly, just have a bit of time, use this time to refine what you're doing, figuring out your pricing, just working things out, enjoying that quiet time before it gets too busy, because it will come. And then your customers will advertise you, honestly, and it will come. And it's annoying because you'll find 1 week, you'll think, wow, I've got 7 people like asking for quotes. If it keeps going like this, in 2 months, I'm going to be packed. But then it can go all quiet for a couple of months. Then it'll go mad again. So it comes in waves. And yeah, honestly, neighbours will come eventually because they'll keep meaning to come out and get you. But they'll find when they do, you're gone. So eventually when they grab you, they're well chuffed. Nelly saying, it's like Facebook, Barker's a race to the bottom. Matt saying, I had a customer cancel me the other day. He said he had purchased equipment to do it himself. Okay, cool. As he has a 3-story townhouse. Mate, there's someone next door to a customer I clean. And my customer was laughing because he brought the equipment to clean the windows, but he's using tap water. And obviously he's probably using cheap versions of what we use. Mad, isn't it? Google business page and website generates most leads online. Yeah, I've got a website. But Jordan, I did mine myself. I brought a package when I first started. I think it was £60. And there's instructions now to change stuff. So I did it that way, and I hosted it, and it just cost me $5.99 a month. I can't remember what I'm paying a month now. I've got it hosted with someone else. Can't even remember who it is. I haven't looked on there for a while. But I've done it like quite cheap. And it sounds weird, isn't it? A squaddy wanting to be a web designer, but I realised I haven't been working for years in that trade. So there's no way I need to get a job. When you get out of the military, I just want to walk into a job and get paid. And then that's when I thought, sod it, I'm going to do window cleaning. And it's been going 8 years. It's not been easy. There's been ups and downs, but that's life, innit? But I absolutely love the job. All work, mate, is a business expense. Got you. And I did use Bark, but not anymore. Costs too much. Yeah, I thought you did, Matt. So there you go, Jordan. It's not worth it, mate. Definitely try Nextdoor app. Staying away from Google Ads. No. I'll do Google business page, that's for sure. And then on your invoices, if you're going to do them through a text message or something, just say, why not say how we've done and do a link to it so you get feedback that way. T-shirt, I'm not a window cleaner. Ches, you're saying to you, Jordan, mate, get out canvassing, leaflet dropping will be fastest. Don't forget website and Google My Business setup. Yeah, and I enjoyed canvassing. It does take a bloody long time though. But I just found I'd go out walking and put a leaflet through the door. So I'd knock first. If no one was in, I'd just put a leaflet through. If someone's in, I'd just explain I'm new in starting up a business. Would you be interested in a window cleaner? And like you say, a lot of no's. Don't just get heartened. There is a yes out there. And I did get quite a few customers actually through doing that. And I'm still cleaning them now. And yeah, some nice people out there as well. There is. Unfortunately, there's a few bad apples, but that's life, innit? But yeah, just knocking on doors until because you'll get to a point, mate, where you're too busy to go out canvassing. But it will get you started quick enough. And I know people like to go out in the evenings to cat, but I always thought, no, evenings is people's. So I did it in my working day. If I wasn't working, I was out canvassing. And you got work sometimes that way. You did a checker trade last year, made a lot out of it, but cancelled after 12 months. So you kind of used it to get you going a fair few. Like I say, word of mouth is the best advertisement going. Okay, you've been canvassing and getting some word of mouth. Yeah, it is, honestly, mate. Word of mouth is the best. And like say, when someone likes you, say they've got parents or someone who's a bit elderly or a bit vulnerable, but they know you'll be a good fit for them because they'll get on with you or they'll trust you, they like you. So you kind of get put in the right people. I mean, I got put in touch with someone who's had Parkinson's for 15 years. What an absolute cracking bloke he is as well. Unfortunately, I can't clean his windows anymore because he's had to go into a home, but he was absolutely brilliant. And I just got put onto him because someone said he's a bit vulnerable, but I think he was going to trust you. And he was a real nice guy. Matt's just saying to Jordan, if you want to do a template website, I have a discount code for Hostinger. So just give him a message, mate. Yeah, Fiverr as well. That's a good one. What Ched's saying, because I used Fiverr, Jordan, mate, to come up with my logo for my business. One thing I did take away from my resettlement was get a logo, trademark it, and also get your company name registered with the company's house and put it in dormant mode. So I did all those and got a website. So that's your logo protected. So no one basically can tell me to change my name. I've got it. So that's what I did. And I used Fiverr to come up with the logo. They did a good job. We spent a fortune on Bark a few years back. Don't get me wrong, it did pay for itself, but you have to have auto response set up correctly. Google is now your highest earner. Interesting. You clean the windows. Jordan's just saying I come out. I've got a website. It's a bit rubbish, and I've got a Google business page. 35 reviews, mate. That's bloody outstanding compared to what I've got. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing something good. And it doesn't matter about a website, does it? It's just got to do its job. These are things you can work on and get there. You know what I mean? But it is honestly, word of mouth is the biggest thing out there. Just do a good job. People see you working hard. They like that. And I think the harder you work, the less painful it is for a customer to hand you customer money. They've got a big grin on their face when they hand it over because they think you've done a cracking job and worked your ass off. And they like what you've done. And that just speaks volumes. Okay, use WordPress. Simple to edit and update. 123 Reg. Brought a template from Template Monster. I've forgotten who I'm using. I'll have to do it on another live because I'll start looking them up. I was with originally TSO Host, but they were being taken over. And I think it was being taken over by 123 Reg. But I jumped ship and went with someone else. And I can't remember if it's Hostinger actually. And when I went with them, my loading speed on the website jumped up as well. Nelly's saying WordPress is the best. What you need, Jordan, mate, is a customer who happens to be a web designer and it's like, oh, I'll do you a soft touch here because I want to help you out. That'd be a winner. So it's who you know at the end of the day, innit? Right, I guess I've been going on for a bit and I better sign off soon because it's been nearly an hour and a half. Can't believe that. Oh, you used Fiverr as well to do your website. Yeah, it depends who's out there, but it's a start, isn't it? And it's good. But there's a few people on here that do their own websites, mate. And like I say, you just look at YouTube and stuff like that, and you figure out how to do it yourself. I think that's a good thing about, like, even though it's just window cleaning, but running your own business, you get to wear lots of different hats. It becomes interesting, really. Definitely better than working in a factory. Well, for me anyway, I hate being in a building for 24 hours. I like being outside, and that's what I like about window cleaning. And my daughter Sophie saying that's what she's missing in her job, even though her job's more money. But I was paying her. What she liked about the window cleaning is we're jumping around, driving different areas. Every day's different, and you're speaking to people. She kind of misses that. Yeah, you have a good, and I hope it's a calm week for everyone as well. Today's definitely been freezing. I mean, I washed my van, cleaned my pole out, all that kind of good stuff. So it's all ready for the week. The window washer's saying all the best, Jordan. Thanks all the hand pink waving. I can't help it. Nice. Don't know if you ever saw the Fast Show. If you're using Fiverr, make sure they're from the UK. Have a good week. Thanks for being here. A good week. Yeah, well, I hope everyone has a good, safe week. Get the work done. We need a good month, don't we? It's been a bad couple of months, but we're going to get there. And when summer arrives, we're going to be moaning it's too hot. And all the talkers are going to be out in the garden and slowing you down chatting, but you'll have time to chat because you can work late. But you'll get your drinks of water and all that kind of stuff. Nice, Jordan, mate. He's saying, thanks everyone for the help. Off to bed to get me beauty sleep. Yeah, I need to get mine as well, mate. I need a lot, obviously. Nelly saying, ask for a phone call. They will refuse if not from the UK for fiver, as most are from overseas. Right, everyone. That's it. If you haven't done, remember, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. I'll just try and hit the right button. D. And yeah, have a good week, and I'll catch you all next week, I suppose, on the live. And then, yeah, like Ched was saying, maybe look at coming out with pictures of houses with different types of windows, that sort of thing, and just see what we can all come up with and if we can help each other out. Have a good one.